Quantum Accelerator is the new for 2025 roller coaster coming to Six Flags New England, and it looks to be a great addition for the park. This will be an Intamin Straddle coaster. I have ridden several of these coasters across the globe, and they are real crowd pleasers. In this video, I will analyze this new addition in terms of fit and elements. Six Flags New England's last new coaster was Joker in 2017. Quantum Accelerator will end the longest coaster gap in the park's history ever since Six Flags took over. The ride will be placed in the plot formerly home to Goliath. This ride looked imposing and great on the midway, but it was a highly problematic attraction. This Vekoma giant inverted boomerang offered a rough ride, and it had major uptime issues. The ride operated from just 2012 to 2019. It was then removed after the 2021 season. This plot of land had been vacant for a few years. Earlier this year, surveyors were spotted on the land, and I had heard some rumors about a potential launched motorbike coaster. That indeed came to fruition. Quantum Accelerator fills two major gaps for the park. First, Six Flags New England sorely needed a launch coaster. They had the second most roller coasters of any amusement park in the world without having a single launch coaster. The only park with more coasters without a launch is Wiener Prater in Austria. Second, Six Flags New England needed another family coaster. The park's current family coasters often have some of the longest lines in the park, so adding another one will help relieve their burden. Then this will be a unique coaster type for the region. New England currently is not home to any straddle or motorbike coasters. The closest such rides are both in New York. There's Steeplechase at Luna Park and Coney Island, and Moto Coaster at Six Flags Darien Lake. But both those versions are Zamperla models, and I find the Intamin versions to offer superior ride experiences anyway. This ride will be placed in Crack Axle Canyon. The entrance appears to be where Goliath's once was, across from the Stampede bumper cars. This will help pull traffic back to that area. To tie into the area, the coaster was given a fun backstory around a character named Professor Screamore. The same character was recently used at Six Flags America for their refresh of Mind Eraser. For New England, Professor Screamore purchased Crack Axle Canyon. He then wanted to time travel. To do this, riders board his newest creation, the Quantum Accelerator, which are stylized hover bikes. From the rendering, there does not appear to be too much theming along the route, which is on par with other coasters in the chain. I just see a themed shed and two pieces of machinery. My pipe dream is some sort of pre-show like Dr. Diabolical's cliffhanger at Six Flags Fiesta Texas to tell the ride's story. But I doubt we're going to get that here. I do like the colors though. The track is red, then the supports and trains appear to have a bronze color. I am really impressed that Intamin was able to cram as much track as they did into this compact plot of land. Whereas Goliath had just 1,204 feet, or 367 meters of track, Quantum Accelerator will have more than double that, with 2,604 feet, or 794 meters of track. This leads to an overall ride duration of just over 1 minute in length. And considering there's no lift hill, that's really good. This is done by crossing over and under itself many times. This also has the advantage of keeping riders on their toes because you can't quite guess where you'll go next. And there should be several nice head choppers. This coaster uses the Intamin Straddle coaster system. Examples of this ride type in the United States include Dark Coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Wave Breaker at SeaWorld San Antonio, Arctic Rescue at SeaWorld San Diego, and Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure at Islands of Adventure, if you're in the motorbike seats. Overseas, examples include Juvalin at Jers Summerland and Jet Rescue at SeaWorld Australia. As opposed to other motorbike coasters where you're forced to lean forwards, the trains here give you a choice. The seats and restraints allow you to sit upright. You can then choose to lean forwards, grasping the handlebars in front of you. This is how I recommend to ride these coasters because it augments the sense of speed. Riders are secured by a U-shaped lap bar that rests really low in your thighs. Just beware if you have wider hips, whether it be naturally or because you have items in your pockets. I'm hoping this ride has a test seat out front so people can check their fit before riding. I am pretty thin at 165 pounds, and I'm the type of person who only brings what they can fit into their cargo shorts when I go to an amusement park. Well, I've had some issues getting the restraint down at other parks if I have too much in my pocket with this model. My digital camera and sunscreen bulge out too far and interfere with the harness. I can get the restraint down with them in my pocket, but I really have to jam it down against those items, which probably isn't too good for them. I had absolutely no trouble if I put these items off to the side though, and I've never had to do that on any other coaster. This is important to consider because Six Flags New England does not allow you to place your bags or loose articles on the ride platform for a few coasters. Items such as this need to go into paid lockers by the ride entrance. The announcement did not specify how this ride will handle loose articles, so it is something to keep an eye on. This coaster will have 2 trains. Each train will seat 16 riders, as there will be 8 rows of 2. Combined with a cycle time of roughly 1.5 minutes, this should have a capacity somewhere in the ballpark of 500 to 600 riders per hour. That is not super high, but that is much higher than the park's current family coasters. Thunderbolt, Gotham City Gauntlet, and Pandemonium often churn through a few hundred less riders per hour. I do suspect this will immediately get one of the longest lines in the park upon opening. This will because of newness and broad appeal. This is not too high or too fast to deter families, but it does enough to pique the interest of thrill seekers. I would not be surprised if this coaster consistently has a wait in the 30 to 60 minute mark next year. I suspect it will be included in the park's paid Flash Pass Skip the Line service to help expedite your wait. Now let's talk about the layout. This coaster will start with a tire-driven launch. This appears to be a rolling launch that starts just outside the station. This will accelerate the train at 30 miles per hour, or 48 kilometers per hour. While this is not a super high-speed launch, these Intamin tire-driven launches usually have a surprising kick to them. You feel the force try to pull you backwards if you're in the motorbike riding position. The first half looks like a warm-up. The elements appear to be taken rather slowly. Intamin has done the same thing on a few of their other straddle coasters such as Juvalin, before upping the ante in the second half. Quantum Accelerator's second half starts with a tire-propelled booster launch. This is where you reach your max speed of 45 miles per hour, or 72 kilometers per hour. This should have a similarly thrilling acceleration to the first launch. The turn after the launch is low and fast, so I suspect it'll have nice positive Gs. That would be in line with the other straddle coasters on the turns after the launch. Then you climb the largest hill, which goes directly over the station. No height was given, but I suspect it'll be roughly 5 to 6 stories tall. The rest of the layout features a mix of low turns, small S-hills, and bunny humps. The park claims this coaster will feature 11 moments of airtime. I'm a bit skeptical of that figure though. If you have ridden any other straddle coaster, they barely offer any airtime. You just get a smidge of weightlessness here and there. I would be pleasantly surprised if Quantum Accelerator is able to deliver more in that department, but the hills look a bit too drawn out to me to do that. These rides usually do better in the positive G department, offering these forces in the low turns. This is especially true in the straddle coasters overseas, which have done better in the thrill department than the ones found in the SeaWorld chain. I am hoping this one has a bit more bite to it, but we will see. Then the pacing and sense of speed are usually strong in this model, with the quick directional changes in riding position. And the Intamin straddle coasters usually offer a very smooth ride. I suspect this will immediately become the park's best family coaster, and it should be a smashing success with the park's audience. I will definitely still prefer Superman and Wicked Cyclone overall because I love high-thrill airtime-centric coasters. But this could contend for my third favorite coaster in the park, depending on the forces. Now I need to bring up this ride's opening date. Six Flags has really struggled to open their new coasters on time in recent years. The chain was supposed to add 3 new coasters for the 2024 season. Bobcat at Great Escape opened at a reasonable time in late May, But construction for both Georgia Surfer at Six Flags Over Georgia and Flash Vertical Velocity at Six Flags Great Adventure started really late. This ultimately led to both coasters being delayed to 2025. But it wasn't just this year. All of the chain's new for 2023 roller coasters did not open until the fall. Six Flags Magic Mountain's West Coast Racers was supposed to open in 2019, but it did not open until 2020. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom's SkyWinder Safari was delayed from 2020 to 2022, and Six Flags Over Texas's Aquaman Power Wave is delayed from 2020 all the way to 2023. That one was ridiculous. This is very frustrating for people who purchase a season pass specifically for these new rides. So if your main reason for buying a season pass is for Quantum Accelerator, I maybe would wait until the spring to see how the ride's construction is coming along. I am optimistic this ride will open by summer though. 1. The plot is already cleared, and it's a contained site. 2. Six Flags New England has a nice long off-season for crews to get in there without disrupting day guests. 3. Six Flags recently merged with Cedar Fair, and the latter is usually good at having their attractions ready for opening day. Finally, I hope this is not the last Intamin roller coaster we see in the chain. Cedar Fair has notoriously stopped working with Intamin. Six Flags has purchased 2 new coasters from them recently, but these plans started before the merger, one being Quantum Accelerator, and the other being Georgia Surfer, but only time will tell if more Intamin rides come to the Six Flags and Cedar Fair parks. I had originally predicted a water park edition for 2025 because Hurricane Harbor has not gotten anything in over a decade, and 2 of their most recent slides have both since closed. I suspect this will occur in the next year or 2, because I would argue this is an even greater need for the park than a new coaster. Six Flags New England could go decades without adding a new coaster, and they would still be the best coaster park in the region. Meanwhile, the water park competition in the area is much fiercer. It is still shocking to me this park never has had a mat racer. So those are my thoughts on Quantum Accelerator, the new coaster coming to Six Flags New England, hopefully in 2025. What are your thoughts on this coaster? Are you looking forward to it? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this analysis video, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.